Anti-relationship, some people are either selfish or dysfunctional. Chapter 1. Anti-love, people who don't want love, to be in a relationship, not asexuals who don't like sex. It's simple, we live in a world of narcissism more than ever. When I was younger, where we had our summer cottage, a couple of artists lived in the area. They were single older men, which was rare in the 1960s. Everybody was expected to marry back then. They were doing their own thing. I went over there several times. They had a bunch of paintings, sculptures, and were making furniture by hand. These guys were artists in the true sense of the word. They felt a strong urge to do their own thing, express their natural energy in their own way. I was brought up a Catholic. I remember the statement. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, lovers. 2 Timothy 3:2-3:4. Nowadays, with social media on the internet, the message is to be a star. Go online, post your meaningless junk up about your frivolous life, then get attention from strangers. It never ends. It's getting worse. A lot of people want admiration, easy money, an easy life, to play video games all day long, gamble, etc. Many of these people are not capable of romantic love. When you're brought up watching intimate strangers on a screen, you do not develop close, intimate relationships with people. I think we're heading straight towards rotten as the human race, partially due to the internet, which encourages narcissism, self-love, en masse. There is a documentary called Bad Vegan about this lazy slob of a guy who refuses to work, marries a nice, naive girl who runs a vegetarian restaurant in New York City, ends up plundering $1.5 million from her, then stealing $400,000 from her mother. He's a totally selfish guy. How many people like him exist in the real world? Why don't people get into relationships? Because they're selfish pigs who would rather live for themselves than share their lives with anybody. Simple mental illness, a slob, a geek, an asshole. When I was coming of age in the 1980s, we didn't have the internet. There was one mainstream culture. Young people went out looking to pair up. Nowadays, with the internet, we got everything. We got guys playing video games all day long. We got gamblers gambling on poker, sports, etc. We got instant porn and cyber sex. You can order food and have it delivered to your door. You got forums and groups spouting strange ideas. You got the MGTOWs, the red-pilled and black-pilled guys not looking for relationships because they think all girls are bitches. I cover these anti-relationship guys in my man book. What about poor people? You got this squeaky clean image of success and coolness on TV, then in real life, you got a guy who's a coal miner, rents a room in a boarding house, is struggling just to pay bills, maybe has stinky socks, etc. Women have always had high expectations, but in real life guys are working average jobs to pay bills. As a guy, how do you expect to have confidence in dating when you don't own a car because you don't have the money? When I went to college, I remember meeting many girls who thought they were queen of the walk, they deserved some rich guy's son with a sports car studying to be a lawyer. This twain will never meet. Average guys trying to get by versus the delusional chicks with their romantic fantasies. Romantic love is not everything. After you get enlightened, freedom is not some hippie adventure of anything goes. It's you choosing to follow the music inside rather than the pull of your society to take a dull job, get married, have kids, and buy stuff. There's no choice. You know you must honor yourself each and every day. Each person has a destiny to pursue that exists independently of other people. It is what you would do even if you had all the love and money you want. Love is only real if your lover supports your destiny. Romantic love for its own sake is not enough. You answer to the person in the mirror every day, or at least you should. If you're tapped into your true nature, you shouldn't feel lonely much because you're happy living your life. You attract potential lovers this way. Love contrarian, Let's go past convention. Love is an ideal, reality isn't. All ideals crumble when you see the real person and when they age. Everybody says they're companions, comfortable with each other in old age, but what's the big deal about trading in one spouse for another or adding another spouse as in polygamy? We have archaic views about love in our society. The truth is simple. The more you live as you are the way you were born, therefore the more real you are in presenting yourself to the world, the more I and most other people respect you and the more we're attracted to you. Contrary to the cultural myths put forth by the mass media marketing machine, in the real world we all have an inherent intuitive judgment system within ourselves that enables us to see the essence of a person, their souls bared so to speak within a few seconds to minutes after seeing them for the first time. For those of us free enough to not get indoctrinated to look for a capitalist, pop culture caricature of success and happiness, the search for love or sex partners is easy. Just follow your intuition without getting sucked into the clothes a person is wearing, the type of car they drive, the square footage of their houses, or how cool they appear to be based on their knowledge and imitation of the current pop culture. This is counterintuitive to the massive marketing machine out there telling girls to color their hair 'cause they're worth it and to buy into the stereotype that a girl who likes to shop for frivolous stuff is a real cool, happenin', liberated chick. The cool image for successful conservative guys is supposedly the guy in the Armani suit, wearing sunglasses, on his cell phone driving around in his expensive car constantly working to build some illusory capitalist empire. For the liberal guys, it's to be a cross between a sensitive wimp and a hippie, eco-tree hugger, granola type with long hair, maybe a ponytail, wire-rimmed glasses with deep, sensitive eyes. Regardless of the image a guy chooses to play that he borrowed from the outside world, it's all a pretense to get chicks and hide his insecurities because all guys are basically same underneath the image. It's not that we're purposely dogs. It's just we were born that way. You can never underestimate the roles hormones play in human behavior. Testosterone is the sex hormone for men and women, but men have 8 to 10 times more than women. The truth in the love game is the exact opposite of the marketing messages you see on TV. If you want to attract a person of substance, don't try to be trendy and cool based on all the TV commercials that are directed at women's vanity or men's capitalist success and machismo. Be yourself. Be modest. Be who you are. Look at your life as a case study of one and try to do whatever it is that's original and inspired within you that you were born with, and you'll have a much greater chance of attracting a worthy soulmate than trying to imitate some image you got from your culture. If you're naturally sensuous and passionate about your life, first of all, don't let the world brainwash you. Secondly, be who you were born to be. Don't let them screw with you by turning you into some soulless, nerdy workaholic working for their ideas of success and happiness, sacrificing the real horny, sexy, free, happy you in the process. This has already happened to millions of people. Plenty of young girls are adventurous and free, but by the time they're 30, most are either brainwashed to pursue their careers very seriously, looking to have babies and be good mothers, or depressed because they haven't found their mythical Prince Charming yet and they know they ain't exactly getting better. They're getting replaced by younger, fresher girls. There are very few girls over 30 willing to be sensual hedonists for the sensations of it 'cause that's what they feel, but there are a few. If you're presenting some image to the world, you might attract brainwashed people like yourself, but from my experience out there, people that are brainwashed by something and not following their true natures the way they were born in their souls always end up crashing and burning in the void of existential emptiness at some point in time. So why bother with people like that if you're looking for love? Look for somebody with enough of an identity to try to be artists of their lives. They're stable. They're not like lost souls always looking for some gimmick to fill them up. It'll save you a lot of headaches in the long run. Just about every single person I know around 50 years old or older, men and women alike, lament the fact that they aren't paired up and think that life has passed them by, that their best days for finding love and enjoying life are behind them. Most of us want both deep human connections and free-flowing, unlimited carnal sex, but you generally can't get both with one partner in a monogamous relationship. Some people don't even get one of the two in a relationship. What are you supposed to do? I never get too soppy or deep. Romantic love can add to my sense of identity, but it can never replace it, which is why I beat out just about everybody in the experience of life, because I don't get neurotic about things I don't have that society says I should have. So many people destroy themselves either looking for love, because they're not in love, or because they're in a horrible relationship. Some of us are too untamed to be in monogamous relationships. Life is lived as it happens day by day. I know at least half a dozen guys who are more interested in their booze and drug hobbies than being family men. Personally, I crave the sensations of the upper limits of the human experience. A relationship is only one part of life. I'd say it is or shouldn't be any more than 15% of an individual's life. With all the other activities I do every day, 15% of your energy dedicated to your sweetheart is plenty enough to keep anybody in love with you. A lot of girls are flash and show. They don't want to do much beyond shop and watch gossip shows on TV. If you live for inspired action from the soul, as many creative, bohemian types do, nobody can keep up with you or share your experiences anyway, many of which are solitary, such as writing, painting pictures, playing an instrument, working out, etc. No matter what, we're all still loners in our heads, ultimately answering only to ourselves. Nobody seems to want to admit this existential fact of the human condition. Everybody is always trying to act like they're deeply connected to some in-crowd or other people somewhere, when the truth is that survey studies bear out that most couples don't even know each other all that well, based on comparing self-analysis questionnaires with how the person's spouse evaluates him or her. In my own family in the past, I called relationships a circular affair. Sometimes there was peace and intimacy in the house. Other times, I felt like we were all on different planets. My conclusion about life for most people is this endless ebb and flow of human relationships going around in a circle, fluctuating between moments of intimacy followed by long periods of generic living, intersprinkled with hate and triviality as someone gets angry and takes it out on a supposed loved one. I only had the true, comfortable feeling of pure love a few times when I was young and too untamed to appreciate it. Very few of us live romantic lives with deep, profound soulmates regardless of how long we've been married, so I say get real. Accept who you are, accept your life. Those idealistic romantic visions you have in your head may come true or may not. In any event, when you wake up every morning, the only person you really answer to is yourself. Do you make a conscious effort to earn your self-respect every day? How can you be a great lover if you don't respect yourself first, and anybody 10 pounds or more overweight doesn't respect themselves? If they did, they wouldn't be overweight. Contrarian views on love and sex. Most marriage is not about love but possession and control. Only a tiny few marriages are fulfilling the partners. To institutionalize a loving relationship, to bring the church and state into it, and to create penalties for withdrawing it at a later time, is a part of the downfall of society. How can someone be expected to commit themselves to another person for the rest of their lives when they're young and immature? Who knows what lies ahead or how the two will change in their attitude to life and each other? According to the mental illness of the institution of marriage, it is better to continue a marriage which both partners hate than to bring it to a natural conclusion and free the partners to find love elsewhere. Children are punished if they are not born into a family made up of a married couple by becoming called bastards. Love should be the bond which holds two people in a relationship, not a piece of paper and a law created by the government and the church. Most marriages are not based on love. They are based on financial security, habit, social conformity, friendship, loneliness, and the fear of being alone. Our love for one does not have to diminish our love for another. We can love several people simultaneously. No one person can provide everything another person will need for the rest of their lives. If we were born into a world that didn't fret over monogamy, the pain caused by relationships and sex would not exist. The misuse and manipulation of sex by religion and the media has led to massive guilt, fear, and resentment in our attitude to sex. Once you have a marriage certificate, You are no longer supposed to have any sexual experience with anyone except your official partner. This denies you from experiencing who you are in your full, true nature. We want to impose our blueprint on others, and only if people conform to that do we love them, or rather think we love them. Denial always stimulates an obsession with whatever you are denying. Sexual denial is huge. You try to suppress your sexual feelings because of fear and guilt, but you can't. Sex comes out one way or another. Sexually frustrated people often become hateful, angry people as a compensation for their unexpressed sexuality. Never be afraid to experience who you really are away from brainwash. Marriages in general have become a prison of denial based on conditional love. Love is about loving without conditions of any kind. Why do we have legal contracts for it called marriage licenses? Love is never about the possession and ownership of another person. Love is not about emotional control or dependence on how you're feeling or how your love object is treating you. It's always there regardless of the emotions of the moment. True love is doing what's best for your love object even if it's tough love that seems to hurt them at the time. People can love more than one person at the same time. Love in its purest, most magical form, has no ifs or buts or maybes. Love is to desire what is best for another, even if it is not what we wish to happen. The greatest love anyone can have for another is to let them go if that is what is best for them. Love is to love someone so completely that nothing they can ever do could destroy the way you feel about them. Two whole people respect and encourage the other's right to express their uniqueness. If you have expectations of someone, you will probably be disappointed. Once we let go of expectations, we are free for anything to happen. Relationships founded on unconditional love with no expectations of each other are the only great ones. Watch a cynical guy on love on youtube.com. Find the YouTube channel jrex918, the guy with glasses. Find his videos where he talks about how fake love is, that everyone wants something.